The hair on the back is slightly erect. There's another male in there somewhere that he feels slightly threatened by. And that's why he is as fluffed up as he is. We might even be lucky enough from the other side of the drainage line to see the slow dance that nyala do so well. But already the temperature, just to finish off that conversation, already the temperature warming up considerably this morning. Ah, they're going to do the slow dance, but they're so hidden. That's such a pity. Oh, so tucked away in there. Poor Jeandre can't even really get you a view, unfortunately. Let's try from the other side of the drainage line. You can just see the movement there. So well hidden. Nyala much preferring the thick, dense vegetation. They are dancing with each other. That slow dance that male and nyala do. It can be incredibly intimidating. I'm not sure I've ever found it intimidating. It is intimidating to watch. Look from the other side of the drainage line. We might be able to look back down across towards them. It's the same males I saw here yesterday doing the same thing. Unfortunately, we didn't have any signal at that point in this dip. There's a chance I'm going to lose you going through here.
Crash cut. Guys, I was walking, I heard him grab something. We just heard this incredible commotion, and we've got in here. Dave just spotted him there. He's got an adult male impala. Isn't this amazing? That impala is still alive. Look at that.
Hopefully, did you share them or are you still with them?
And it looks like Tingana. Can't see for sure yet, but he's just grabbed that impala. It's still alive. A bit of perseverance pays off. Hello, big boy. Isn't this incredible, guys? Now, look, he's going to move the kill now. Look at that incredible strength. Tax. Tax, we've located him. He's just bombered adult mala. Just a little bit to the north of where we were. I'm hoping he's going to try take it up that wonderful big tree. Standing by.
I'm right in the true water hole here, the nyala south. Where are you exactly?
I come onto Vulture's Nest, and you can see a very big scotia just to the northeast of the Balanitis tree. We're in the block there. Isn't this incredible, guys? So that impala was still alive when we arrived. And I'm just going to try move a little bit So what's probably going to happen now is he's going to take the stomach out to make it a little bit lighter. And he's going to be very worried now for hyenas. So that is even for a male leopard. Oh, there we go, he's dragging it into the open. So he's going to try to find a spot to keep it away from vultures' eyes. Look at that, he's taking it right into the thicket. That's where he's going to remove the stomach, probably. Start feeding off the liver. Let's get into the spot. Isn't this amazing? So exciting. Just a pity we missed the actual takedown, but a bit of seriously hard tracking paid off this morning. I'm just going to see if we can get in. Thank you for all the thank yous. It does feel a little bit, actually I lied, it feels a lot gratifying because we've done a lot of tracking over the last couple of days without any payoff. But fortunately now, we've got the payoff. There we go. Isn't this incredible? It does look like it is Tingana. So you can see he's dragged this impala male underneath a very big thicket. There's a bent down bush willow that's been pushed by elephants. So he's going to try and protect its visual from vultures. Because vultures can bring lions and hyenas in, but you can see now he's just going to rest for a while. So he's expended a lot of energy in that hunt and that takedown. So it'll be a few moments before he decides to start feeding. You can see he's very much on edge, just in case hyenas or something comes. Sorry guys, I've just got to call Ephraim. Ephraim.
This is my best. Can I go to you now?
Copy. Best access is from a little bit further to the north. It's very thick if you come from the south. So he's very, very much on alert. So we did hear the takedown, and there were some impala and nyala alarm calls. So he's going to be very worried that the hyenas would have heard that, and if they did, they will come in to investigate. Hello, big boy. So Natasha says, Brent, you have the nose of a leopard and you found one. So you can see now, he's moved off into that thick area there, but he's a lot more relaxed now. He's sort of assessed the situation. There's not too many, and there's no potential hyenas and whatnot around, so he's actually going to rest for a little bit before he starts opening up the stomach. Now, if you look at the carcass, there's almost no blood on it at all. Now, the only little bit of blood will be around the neck, where those canines have sunk in. So lions and leopards have a very, very specialized section of their mouths. So the canines anchor, but there's a little gap, a purposeful gap between their molars and premolars and their canines. And basically what that little gap does is it closes the windpipe. So they actually suffocate them by pinching the windpipe closed. They don't actually cut through it completely. So while he's lying in the shade there, we can... How's that, Dave? I can't... There we go. And you see that little gap there and there. Now that actually just pinches the windpipe closed. So the canines anchor, and then that little gap just closes it completely and suffocates the animal. Now, the reason why this is a far more better way, or a much better way than sort of ripping something apart. If you rip it apart, it can make a lot of noise and attract other predators. So in suffocating it, it also stops it from making any distress calls. So it's a really, really amazing little evolutionary nick that lions and leopards and quite a few of the other smaller cats have as well. So we're not going to move for now. We can't really see him, but let's just let him rest for a while. And then hopefully he will start opening the stomach just now. So Ephraim's coming to join us. So if you hear the other vehicle, don't despair. Some lucky guests of Ephraim's are coming to enjoy Tingana with us. Actually, not often do we get a chance to look at things like this. So while Tingana is resting, let's zoom in over there, Dave. So normally when we try to show you these things, they're on the move, and they are the metatarsal glands. Those glands that when an impala is running away from a predator, release a pheromone that is for the impala to be able to find each other after the initial chase. So you can see they actually are quite pronounced, and if you have to touch them, there's a little oily substance that comes out as well. So metatarsal glands. Very interesting. And you can just see him.
How many vehicles are on the English?
Sorry guys, just on the radio. And then there's two here, one making its way. I think there's no standbys yet. So you can see he's exerted a huge amount of energy in the taking down of that adult male impala. It's a nice big ram. So he's going to rest now before he starts feeding. And he will still be very alert. But you notice how when he first stopped, he stayed right next to the carcass, was constantly checking around for hyenas. So he's now quite confident that there wasn't a hyena close enough to hear that initial amazing sound. I'm going to try edge a little bit forward so we can maybe get a little bit more of him. But he is right in the base of that thicket at the moment. Maybe back a little bit. Wind, Dave. You might get enough. A little bit forward. Yeah, just... I think back's going to be a little bit better. There we go. You happy? Forward, back.
Maybe forward a little bit.
we go. So Nemo is saying that they've been lucky enough to witness a leopard impala kill in person, and sorry guys, Nemo, I'll be with you now. Alan, I think Tax is making his way. Just speak to him. There's 2 stations in the sighting at the moment. I think you're first standby. Okay. So Nemo said that female leopard that he saw gutted that impala immediately, and it was still stolen by hyenas. Now, Nemo, it could be a bit different because it's a male. So a single hyena, he would feel quite confident being able to beat off, whereas a female leopard is much, much smaller, and she wouldn't be able to do that. So really, really great. So he is always going to be a little bit more confident than a female, and so he's a happy chap. He will definitely, I'm pretty sure, before the end of the sunrise safari, maybe not. He might still sleep for a bit. He does look like he's got a reasonably full belly already. But isn't this great? We're going to have, hopefully, going to have him around for a couple of days while he feeds off this impala. Let's just hope he does gut it, and we've got this wonderful, perfect tree right next to us. Although he might move it to another tree, but I'm hoping he puts us in this big scotia or weeping boer bean that's next to us. So lots of shade around, so I'm hoping he'll take that impala up there. So Virginia and Sheila would like to know the weight difference between the male impala and Tingana. So Tingana is probably around, I would guess, about 80 kilograms, and that impala is about 60. So he's about 20 kilograms heavier than that impala. So he's just under 200 pounds, would be my guess. And the impala is probably 130, 140 maybe. As you know, my mathematics leaves a lot to be desired. And so there we go. He's about 176.63 pounds, and the impala is about 130 pounds. So he's a bit heavier. Now, with a female leopard, for Karula, for example, would be lighter than a male impala. So that's why she seems to prefer catching the smaller stuff. So Karula's probably only about 88, 90 pounds, around there. So a big male impala like the one he's caught would be very difficult for her to drag up a tree, but he shouldn't have too much problem with that. So while he's resting in the shade before he starts opening up that stomach, I just need to get on the game drive quickly. And there's quite a bit of interest here, but don't worry, I'm not leaving. I won't go anyway, but we'll be back shortly. We're just going to see what Jamie's up to.
Such an awesome way to have our sunrise safari going. You're just with me for the moment, just to give Brent a chance to coordinate the sighting and to organize exactly what's happening with the different vehicles coming in. It's quite tricky to do that whilst presenting and talking about the animal and watching what the animal's doing and listening at the same time and taking questions. So we're just going to give Brent a little bit of a break that he can listen to exactly what's going on, which I'm trying to do as well, just to give him a hand. busy. Easter weekend, lots of people are here visiting. So lots of vehicles wanting to have a chance to get to see that leopard. How awesome is that? Sounds as though the poor leopard is absolutely exhausted after the hunt. Too exhausted to eat for now. But fingers crossed, once he gets his breath back and once he's managed to have a snack, he will hoist that kill up into a tree so that it is out of the reach of any ranging predators like hyenas. Their tracks are all over Jeandre. Just turn this down a little bit. Okay, didn't want to take you away for too long. It seems as though Brent has got the game drive comms sorted out, so let's head back to Brent and Tingana.
Now look at that, he's almost invisible as he lies there. But there he is. He hasn't moved yet. We're definitely not moving a muscle for the rest of the safari. What we are hoping is he's going to open up that stomach, possibly feed off the liver, the heart, the lungs, the nice nutritious bits. And once he's removed the stomach, he'll probably try to bury it. And then I am really hoping he takes it up a tree, because if he takes it up the tree, less chance the hyena's stealing it, and more chance of us enjoying leopard for a few days. So Ephraim is kindly controlling the game drive sightings for me, so I have your undivided attention and I'm not on the radio. Jamie's kindly offered to manage the game drive channel. I think it's fine. F's got it at the moment. But maybe when F moves out, I'm moving forward to Kruma Shangan. So it is incredible. We were there while that impala was still kicking. It was still alive when we found him. And you can see how much more relaxed he is now than he was when he was just dragged that carcass here. Where? Which one? Ah, so we have a guest on Ephraim's vehicle who said she'd like to be a guide with us one day. Well, there's always a chance. Work hard, get stuck into those wildlife books, and watch SafariLIVE. Alan, much better access from north. You'll see where my tracks go off the road.
Okay.
So Nemo is saying the circle of life. Nemo never had a true understanding of this circle of life till having come to Africa and experiencing it firsthand, and now again on SafariLIVE. So Nemo, it is true. It is an incredible thing. Sometimes it can be quite difficult to watch, but it is nature at its most raw, its most pure, and for me, at its most beautiful. I'm going to try just go back a little bit, see if we can get a slightly better view. How's it looking there, Dave? Not really, huh? I suppose you're higher than me. Have a look. Oh, it's where we were the best spot.
You know what, if we go another 2 meters forward, we might have a nice gap.
So, I've just got to... Sorry, Dave?
I was just saying another 2 meters.
Another 2 meters? So, guys, I just got to be on the radio again for a second.
And about about there is better.
There we go. There. Then he turns his head. Murphy's door. There we go. So I just got to be on the game drive. I'm the only person here, so I do apologize. Don't worry, Ephraim did it for me. He said this is only a 2-vehicle lock, and 2 vehicles, not because the animal is unrelaxed, just because only 2 people can actually look at the leopard at any one time. You can see he's still panting quite heavily from all that energy exerted in bringing down that impala. So you'll find this quite often with leopards, unlike lions who start trying to eat immediately, but that's because they're in competition with other lions for the meal. He knows that this is pretty much all his, so he's got the time to rest up after killing before opening up, and I'm hoping he'll start opening up that stomach quite shortly. So Natasha, who's in Canada, in Ontario, is wondering, will he eat the stomach contents and just leave it? Now, that just completely depends how hungry he is. Sometimes they will take the grass and stuff out and eat the stomach lining. Other times they'll just leave it. So it all is very dependent on how hungry he is. But normally they will eat some of the stomach contents, maybe not the contents of the stomach, but the stomach lining. So the contents of the stomach is basically undigested grass, which if you're a carnivore like a leopard, it's not really worthwhile having a munch on that. No nutrients in there for you. Oopsie, sorry about the noise. I'm just trying to put a little bit of shade over my monitor so I can see it. And of course I make it. So, a very big SafariLIVE and a big hello from Tingana, the male leopard, to Brian, who in Scotland, who's a new viewer. So Brian would like to know, how long can SafariLIVE stay with him? Well, Brian, we found him, so it's our sighting. So we'll stay with him till the end of the safari, which is at 8:30 Central African time. But we will be back with him, I'm pretty sure, unless he loses the kill during the day while we're not here, which I don't think is too likely. We'll be back with him at 4 p.m. Central African time this evening. So Siberia, who's one of our zoomies, would like to know, I think that the impala might have been ratting and therefore were distracted while he was hunting, and that enabled him to catch one of them. Siberia, I did not hear any ratting. I was probably about 50 meters away from him on foot when he actually caught it, and there was no impala ratting. So I think he just did a good clean stalk, and those impala were just grazing and browsing and minding their own business, but unbeknownst to them, there was a leopard on the prowl. So while he's still sleeping in the thicket, let's jump back on board with Jamie, who's got some live impala.
I was hoping that our live impala would give a very clear demonstration of a point that Brent was discussing, and that is the fact that the impala are starting to go into their rutting season. They haven't started the full rut, but they have started sparring and practicing with each other in preparation. Testosterone levels running a little bit higher than normal. Males know that their time is coming to have a chance to pass on their genetics to the next generation. And that does become incredibly distracting for them. And we'll see it more and more frequently as the months progress, in the next 2 or so months, where they really seriously get into the conflict with each other and the competition for females. They will be able to, or they will be so distracted that it will be a bonanza opportunity for animals like Tingana. At the moment, though, they're quite peacefully eating grass, completely probably unaware of the fate that has befallen one of their own, about a mile away from where we're sitting. They've got a nice open clearing here. They can see any potential threats. And already we're seeing that split between the breeding herds and the bachelor groups that are forming. Still no sign of Nelson, though. We've just had so many impala moving through this area. Our one-horned, one-eyed impala gentleman. I haven't seen him for a long time now. I hope he's still out there somewhere. He became quite the character for a few weeks. And just a nice, relaxing view of just how beautifully green it is at the moment. Such an extraordinary view. Okay, just wanted to bring you across to show you some living impala. I was hoping they might demonstrate some sparring for you, but they've gone back to breakfast. Let's see if Tingana has decided to start on his.
So, unfortunately, Mr. Tingana has not moved an inch. He hasn't even changed position. So he's still lying up in that thicket, panting quite heavily. It does look like he has got a relatively full belly. So not desperate for a meal, but he's now got, if he hoists it in time, a meal for the next 3 days. So Charlotte in Port Elizabeth is asking, why is he panting? Is it from the heat? Is it from catching his prey? Or is it from a full belly? It's from all three, Charlotte. I guess it's probably close on 30 degrees Celsius at the moment, now that the sun's out in full force. And he has exerted a lot of energy in catching that impala, which would also cause him to be very hot. And he's got quite a full belly. So he's got the trifecta when it comes to heavy panting in leopards. And if he starts feeding off this impala, he's going to be even more obese and heavy and panting and hot. So Canada Keith would like to know, who is the king of Djuma, Tingana or Mvula? Well, it used to be Mvula. It is now most certainly Tingana. Mvula is quite an old male now. He's past his prime. He's become a dispersal male again for the second time in his life. So he's not able to hold a territory or home range. So he basically tries to move between the peripheries of other male leopards, hoping not to encounter one of the dominant males. So Tingana's time at the top, Mvula's time at the top is over. but Tingana is definitely the undisputed king of Jeandre at the moment from the leopard point of view. There is that unrelaxed male that comes in from Buffelshoek, and he's a very big male. I've seen him a couple of times, but he doesn't push too far into Jeandre. So I would say probably 98% of Jeandre is under Tingana, and then probably about 50% of Arethusa. And the rest of Arethusa is, of course, under the monster that is the Anderson male. But Tingana's basically taken over almost all of Mvula's original territory. So a lot of Torchwood down to Cheetah Plains, Chitwa. But he hasn't extended north. Mvula used to go quite far north, but it seems like that unrelaxed male has taken most of that territory there. Now, does it look like he's thinking about going to start feeding? Maybe not. Come on, big boy, it's time for breakfast. But it looks like he's more interested in having a snooze before he starts feeding. Oh, head turn. It's about the most movement we've seen in the last little bit. But how incredible was that to get there while that impala was still alive, while he was still suffocating it. So Ryan is wondering whether leopard and lion ever share territory. And, well, they do. Their territories overlap, so they don't fight each other for territory, because if you're a leopard, that would be a very bad idea, since lions are much bigger. Sorry, guys, do you have to put the game drive radio on again? So they share the same area. So lion and leopard will move through the same area, although they don't defend the same territories. Leopard will defend its territory against other leopards, and lion will defend their territory against other lions.
I just want to find out what is the lineup for the team with?
Sorry.
No, you guys are still in a lineup. Is anybody behind you guys? Yeah, there is. I'll just ask him when he gets back, he'll get back to you.
So Clayton's wondering how long it will take to finish this kill. Now, he is quite full, so it could be 2 or 3 days.
Space for one.
Oh, sorry, before vultures can notice the kill. Well, he's hidden it quite well. I don't think a vulture is going to be able to see through this thicket. Sorry about that, Clayton. A little bit distracted. I just need to get on the radio. Yours.
You're doing mobile enough to have coffee?
Orbs, one station still with Tingana. It's only a 2-vehicle sighting. I think yours should be making his way. I think Tax is first standby, and then someone else was looking for second.
Okay, cover that.
Let's try and see if we can get a slightly different view. Let's see. Can we get a gap through there? Dangerous. Still obscured. Is that what is behind us? That sounds quite large. Is there a gap?
This guy, just have a look.
How's that? No. There we go. We're just trying to find you a spot. He's not in the best place for visual. I think further forward was the best. It also puts us in the right spot if he does decide, let's try. Let's see if we can get a window to the soul of a leopard through the bush. Oh, there we go. That's a good sign, a bit of licking. Means he might, I think that's the best. I think he might, when he starts preening, he might, just might, start feeding. There we go. Come on, start licking, start cleaning, and start eating, big boy.
Okay, and that sick one, is it still an Aratisa?
So the fact that he's starting to groom is a good sign that he might start feeding off that impala shortly. And he could just prove me wrong and go absolutely fast asleep. But you can still see he's quite alert. He definitely would prefer to have this carcass in the tree than on the ground. But he does need to build up a bit of energy reserves before he can do that. If a hyena came rushing in, a single hyena, I think he would happily attack back. But multiple hyenas, he wouldn't stand a chance. So I've said that he is quite full, and Anna would like to know, do predators usually kill when they're not hungry? Yes, they do, Anna. They are opportunists of the nth degree. And even with a full belly and 2 impala in a tree, if another had to happen to pass upon him, he would definitely take that opportunity. Now, leopards and lions have no problem eating completely putrid and rotting flesh. So if he can, he will kill and he'll store it so he can feed on it at a later stage. So Ryan is wondering how long will it take him to finish off this impala, and will he stay with it or will he leave it? Well, Ryan, he will probably, if he manages to get it in a tree before the hyenas find him, it'll probably take him 2 to 3 days to finish this impala. It's a nice big one. And he will leave it from time to time to go and have a drink. There's quite a lot of pans close by, so he'll probably head through, have a drink at some stage, and then come back. Quite often he'll leave the carcass in the tree, and he will lie in a spot like this where it's nice and shady, and then only going up into the tree to feed when he's hungry, and then returning to the ground for a snooze afterwards. Come on, boy. Time for some movement. Oh, I can't really complain. We were so lucky to find him with that impala in his jaws. So while we wait in anticipation for Tingana to start feeding, Jamie's got a big black beast to show you.
Oh, I've actually got a breeding herd of big black beasts, but I can't quite get a view of them. So at the moment, it is just the Duggar boy males. We know this buffalo. He's the one with the strange, really straight boss. We've seen him quite a few times in this area. He really is the most peculiar-looking, unique-looking buffalo. It's like somebody laid down a ruler while his boss was growing. Perfectly straight. Such a peculiar-looking animal. And now if I reposition, There's also a buffalo that is blind in one eye. And it's quite an interesting looking hello, boy. I don't want to push any further. I don't want to scare him. There you can see his left eye completely blind, totally milky. And the right eye actually looks like it might be going the same way. And you definitely, although their eyesight is not spectacular, being a blind buffalo is not an ideal situation. Also, I've also seen this bull before on our live safaris. He's still doing well. Managing to cope despite the lack of sight in one eye. With all of the buffalo that we see in the Kruger National Park, you can almost guarantee that at least some of them are carriers of tuberculosis or TB. And Andrea was wondering, would that mean that they heal slower than, or sort of slow down the healing of any injuries? To an extent, yes. It's a naturally occurring disease out here. So most of the animals, from the kudu to the lion to the buffalo, carry TB, and it very seldom affects them in a majorly negative way. It's when they start to lose condition. So, for example, what we're going to see with the drought that's coming up in the next few months, without any good food, they're going to start to get thinner and thinner, and that's when the TB bacteria really starts to take hold and make them ill. So yes, it doesn't really slow down their healing, but it will definitely accelerate their deterioration. Sorry, both Jeandre and myself distracted at exactly the same moment. Look at this woodpecker go. Looks like, well spotted, Jeandre. Looks like a golden-tailed. Can't quite, from my angle, see his head fully. And I can also hear a lovely Sterling's wren warbler. Got a worm. Well done, woodpecker. Bravo. Somebody else is enjoying breakfast as well. I said that it looks like it might be a golden-tailed just by the amount of red on the head. Here we go, we've got a slightly clearer view. Beautiful sighting. Backing away. A nice end to our sunrise safari. Not the end of yours, however. And while we watch this woodpecker go about his morning business, just wanted to say a big thank you to Jeandre for his incredible camera work this morning, as well as to all of you watching across the world for joining us and for feeding us your questions and your comments. We do really love to hear from you, and it makes our drives that much more exciting to be able to interact with you all. So have a wonderful day, wherever you are in the world. I'm going to say goodbye for now. I'll see you on the sunset safari. I'm going to finish off with the last few moments spent with Tingana.
So there we go. He hasn't moved at all. So I think he's going to rest for quite a while before he starts feeding. So I don't think we're going to catch it on the sunrise safari, but we will definitely be back here on the sunset safari to see what's happening with Tingana and his kill. So we're going to say goodbye to Mr. Tingana and start moving back towards the road, giving the other guys a chance to get in here. At the moment, everyone's still very excited about the fact we found him. Let's just see if we can maneuver out of here. Get one last visual. There we go. One last view over my shoulder. You can see, where is he? Hiding behind that particular leaf. How's that, Dave? Oops. There we go. So we will see him in a few short hours on the Sunset Safari. Dave, are there any large... Are we good? Here we go, just going to move out so yours can get in there. So, just between these two trees. Yeah, I'm leaving, yeah. No, it's cool. So, he isn't going to start feeding, but we will definitely come back here, as I said, on the Sunset Safari. Just waiting for yours to get in there. And what an incredible morning. I mean, we were there when that impala was still kicking. That is amazing and well spotted today. Quite a team combination today. So I'm really excited. Hopefully he pops it up nice and high in the tree. And also, this evening on the Sunset Safari, we will be conducting an Easter egg hunt. So what will happen is Jamie will hide an egg and I'll hide an egg, and while we are not live, and then we're going to give you guys some riddles to help the other presenter try find exactly where that egg is. So I hope everyone is on fine form and can lead me towards my tasty treat. There's a big stump. Let's not drive over that one. So really, really great. Hopefully he's going to be here for the next couple of days if he manages to pop that impala in the tree before the hyenas find him. I think it's going to be easier to go through there. And watch the thorns, Dave. They might attack you. So we're going to leave a little signpost, a bush signpost on the road, which makes it easier for everyone else to find it. So we'll just pop this on the road, and it is a red bush willow branch we'll be using as our bush signpost today. So we've just plucked a little branch, we're going to pop it on the road, and so the other guys are able to find it easily. And there we go. You always put it on the side that you must turn off. So if you put it on the left-hand side, it means you must turn into the bush that way. This one means you must turn into the bush this way. So what an absolutely enthralling and exhilarating sunrise safari. Beautiful weather, beautiful cat, and hopefully some beautiful viewing for the next few days. I'm very excited, and there is nothing more I really like than finding a big cat on foot. And wasn't it incredible? I actually was no more than 50 meters when he took down that impala. So to see what happens with the rest of the story, join us on the Sunset Safari. So from Dangerous Dave and myself, adieu.